Welcome to Monday Night. Oh shoot! Welcome to Monday Night Live Chat, and today is International Window Cleaning Day because we have a holiday. So this is the best episode of them all, and this is episode 30. I just realized this as I changed the title as we were waiting for that 2 minutes.
We've done 30 of these.
We've done 30 of these. We've missed quite a few times, so
pretty crazy.
We're on to something.
That's
it's getting
pretty
big.
Yeah.
Wait till
this is a pretty special moment.
Yep, this is special. We didn't know if we were going to make it.
That's right. That's pretty much right. We would be talking anyway if it wasn't like doing a live. Like
that's true.
It just happens to be that people ask questions and hang out with us. That's pretty much it. We would really just be complaining about things anyway.
People probably don't realize how much we do talk just about just everything in general all the time, and it's needed. If I didn't have Josh, I don't know where I'd be.
Well, yeah. I have an idea where you'd be, but I don't know what kind of bridges are around there. But one thing that I really dislike is when people are like, hey, I was watching SteveO's video. Have you ever met him? I'm like, yeah. No, once or twice, unfortunately, I met him.
Yeah. Well,
whoa, you met SteveO? I'm like, yeah.
It's a really weird thing. I'll have to be quite honest. Like going to a convention. My weirdest time ever was I was in, this has only happened a few times in my hometown. I was in a McDonald's in the line and some guy was ordering right next to me. And I think he still watched my videos and everything. And he was like, oh, hey, are you SteveO? And never did I ever think this would turn into something like that. But it's happened at McDonald's, at my gym. And the minute it happens, I'm the type of person where I'm like, I'm freaking out of here. Like, I just get really weirded out by it. And I'm like, this is my personal life. I got to go. Like, see you later. And then, like, if I see them again, I'm just like, what's going on?
Nice. It's fame, it's tough. That's why it's hard to walk with you around. Actually, we do that slightly between you and I when we're at conventions and stuff. Like, after the first day, it's like, you had two people know you. There's two people knew me. We're kind of tied right now. Let's see.
Yeah.
I always introduce you to somebody's like, oh man, Jersey. Oh, I watched podcast. Awesome. Have you met my friend Steve?
The best one was best one was Jeffrey Scott. Last time we were at the convention, you were like, have you met SteveO? And he was listening like, I don't know who you are. Yes, thank God. Winds up being one of the coolest dudes ever.
It's amazing that we just go through dumb things like that. Remember, we were in the airport in Charlotte and some guy was like talking to us, and
that was not me. That was you, Austin, and John.
Oh yeah, you weren't there yet, were you?
No, because I never go to that side. I meet you guys somewhere in the middle.
I forgot.
Hey, speaking real quickly of the convention, is anybody watching going to the huge convention? Which also I saw a really weird thing that it's changed now from window cleaning and pressure washing convention to the home show. I saw, The
what?
The new logo is like the huge convention home show. Has nothing in there about window cleaning and pressure washing. From what I saw, it's like it's a cool logo. It's got like a guitar. It's got the cowboy hat and everything. But I was kind of like, oh, so what does this mean? Like, is it going to be like because we technically as WCR, we don't have any affiliation other than that we go. Yeah. So like, there's no organizing things that Chris and Alex do anymore. So it's different. But I'm just wondering, like, is it going to be the same? That's all.
Yeah. It always, it's weird just seeing it change and seeing things like, it's weird.
Yeah. Last couple of times we've gone, it definitely has been pressure washing heavy, which is understandable. It's a bigger industry, so it's not like a surprise or anything like that. But you fill the window clean, and you'll get a lot of people that come up to you, kind of like, it's a great event. It's really fun to network and everybody. I just wish there was like a little bit more window cleaning, like some of the stuff they sometimes do at the IWCA, like having like even a window that you can clean. Like Mormon always does that, and what's the most popular booth? It's Mormon, because they can pick up a squeegee and clean a window and do what they do every day, but they're at a convention.
Yeah.
So they can show up.
There should be another show sometime coming up someday.
We'll see what happens.
By the way, Andy, he was first. Evan Stomp, what's up? Levi S. Antonio, what's going on? Victor, of course, is here. KD, what's up? Mr. Nick Stafford, by the way, what's up, man? Caleb Copeland. I don't know that I've seen that name yet. I don't know. Maybe Caleb's new. That'd be pretty awesome. Carlos, of course, is here. Cole Larson, what's up to everybody that's here? By the way, if you're here, say what's up and tell me how many weeks out you're booked, because hopefully things are kind of back to normal. So, and I apologize. Somebody commented that my shirt is too close to skin color. So
he's not naked.
Not naked.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. No, you came on for that. But...
I did get like super sunburned. So look at that. Look at that. I'm like the color of
this
your.
Did you go to the beach?
No, I was like moving gravel. So I was sitting on a tractor all weekend.
Oh, that's fun. This is what you do on the weekends, right?
In the sun, yeah.
Go up
Didn't
to the
realize
land.
till I got home.
Go up to the land and get your bottle of moonshine.
And I know people who make shine, man. It's like a giant process. Actually, one guy finally retired from it because it's just he's like too old to do it. And he's like, I'm not spending 6 hours of my day to go make a couple gallons of alcohol.
I've never had it. Never had moonshine.
Real moonshine? So I had real moonshine in a Dixie cup one time. They poured it in and they poured a bunch of people's and I got all over my hand. It melted the cup that it was in. I was like, oh, you guys, we're going to drink it faster. I drank a shot, and as I came back down, I was like swimming already. It was the most intense, crazy thing. But anyway,
what percentage is it?
Depends on what you get, but it could be like 190 or whatever, like
man,
or 190 proof or something. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Well, it looks like everyone's pretty freaking booked here.
That's good.
I mean, May is the time, though, man. May is like.
But has it not been slow feeling? Hasn't it been slow?
Yeah, it's been super slow. Like what I was mentioning to you before we got on here in Colorado, and I know everybody except for some select areas in Colorado has been affected by this, but like we've just had rain, like rain every day. And, I was even going to go out and clean today and both my homes rescheduled. So, that's the really hard part about when you get into your schedule in this time of year is when you have a week. It's like one thing for a day. You can really push that out and put them into different areas. But when you have a week gone, that can really hurt you. So I had a lot of texts from people kind of like, what do you usually do during this kind of time of the year? As far as, with something like this happens, it's like, dude, you just got to do the best you can. And you got to communicate and tell the customers like, hey, if I don't get you done this week, it's going to be, this amount of time. Or you just say, okay, for a couple weekends, I'm just cleaning just to catch up. And that's what we used to do. And it was what it was. So.
Katie just said one good hurricane and you're backed up for 6 weeks. And that's like exactly it. I know you don't have hurricanes where you are, but like there's guys out there working 6 days a week. They're booked and they're like, yeah, man, I'm booked like 4 months. Yeah, 6 days a week. And it's like, okay, if you want to like push that hard, cool. Like I'm never, ever go against somebody's hustle. What happens when it rains? Yeah. Like what happens if you sprain your wrist? Like what happens if you, whatever, like
car breaks down, right?
You just, then you're, what do you, hey, sorry, I had an itch and I need to push you 6 weeks. Like that seems super, super tricky.
I've had many times where like, and I remember this, we had a pack schedule and I was going down to Boulder. This when I was still with Jim and I was in the ProMaster, and I have always had car issues at the worst times of the year. And literally, man, all of a sudden going down super pack day and our Ram ProMaster service engine pops on, just completely stops, can't do anything. Jim's got to pick me up, send all the rest of the people to a job. And then you're just, for like 3 days, you're just trying to figure out what the heck's going on, trying to get the car back as quick as possible. I think having a vehicle go down is one of the worst, it just throws such a wrench into like trying to figure that out when you're just trying to get everything done in a smooth, efficient amount of time,
Dude, I had my first big pressure washer. A lot of people know that story of where I kind of like accidentally landed like this $100,000 account that I had to like literally in a week go buy a bunch of stuff. So I bought like good stuff, brand new, nice stuff. Well, the system I bought ended up having a fault with it. And the frame it was built on was an open-sided frame, and they had the gas tank in the open side. But what ended up happening is because it was open, almost like a C, it rattled and twisted. So it kept like breaking the motor. Like the motor would like, just the vibrations and the harmonics would like screw up the inside of the motor. So my pressure washer kept going down. It would go down literally like once a month, once every 3 weeks. It was going down. It was going down. It was going down. You get it back up and all of a sudden it'd go down again. And having equipment go down like that, like you're talking about a vehicle, just sucks. Cause you're like, dude, We have a whole day. And Carlos just asked a great question that I'm going to get to, but like, what do you do with your guys when you're like, hey, you guys had like 8 to 10 hour day today scheduled, and now this thing broke. Sorry, like you're SOL. Like I got nothing for you. I'll give you a couple hours worth of pay to like clean up the shop or wash a truck or something. But what are you going to do? There's nothing.
Yep. I was going to say that's funny you said that, because when I was a co-owner with Jim, of course, like if the day happened, right, we both took a hit, but it was just kind of like what it is. But we'd always say to like Alfredo or anybody, hey, if you want to go clean the trucks or, go detail the shop or do something like that, that's how you get some extra hours. And that was also something like during the winter time, but it's hard. But most of the time, what we would do is if we had inside work anywhere, we would immediately reach out to that customer and just say, hey, is it possible? Or we'd go do like a bunch of our dealerships and we would just go do inside work, and then we would just wait and do the outside when it was regularly scheduled. And we just to get something done, to get something off the schedule was all we could do.
Yeah. By the way, if you're watching, we're going to get to questions here. It is slower than normal because of the season. So do us a favor. Just comment anything, even if it's just the letter F for Frank. Fantastic. Share the show, put it out there. Let's get the algorithm kind of picking it up, but we'll start doing some questions too. So if you got questions, definitely ask. And SteveO will get to those questions. He loves questions.
I love questions. I love them. Okay, first question. All righty.
From
Caleb. How many panes of glass did you touch today? I could tell you right now. I touched 16.
I could tell you right now. None. I touched none. Actually, I did, because there's a little piece of cement on my front windows as I'm walking in my office, and I always hit it with like my pen. Like eventually, I'll knock it off, and I just didn't. As
you pass by, I didn't get this time. I'll get tomorrow.
Maybe next time.
Man, yeah. I mean, I just did my one job today. That was it. It was quite sad. It was a quite sad day. All right, let's get to the next question.
People sad. Time to wrap it up, guys. All right.
What's best for removing hard calcium from glass? Super thick calcium, though, not just normal.
No matter what you do is going to be multiple. Like there's no one and done with super thick stuff.
Yeah. When you get down to it, from mild to medium, you can always use something like Diamond Magic or BioClean, Unger Rub Out. Unger Rub Out's really a mild hard water remover. And then once you can't take it off from that and like nothing's happening, that's where you move to like acid wash, which would be like One Restore or CC 550. Okay, go ahead.
I have a question. Do you always start with a paste first and then go to an acid?
I'm a big fan of paste. But my area, and this is why it varies so much, right, is that like I don't encounter many times that the windows are that bad that the paste won't take care of all of it. It is very rare that I get to a job and it is so extreme that all I could think of is, oh yeah, acid wash. It's just usually a little bit spotted, and that's typically because the water even coming out of the sprinkler system isn't that bad. Right. Yeah. Like usually the worst that I see are showers. That's usually the worst. And I can get those cleaned up easy. But yeah, I mean, then after One Restore, CC 550, but CC 550 technically, I believe, right, is stronger than One Restore, as in that it's two types of acid rather than just the one type of acid that One Restore is.
Yeah. I've seen, not that it's bad, but I've seen too many like, I wouldn't put CC 550 in people's hands, but we used One Restore like it was going out of business. But like CC 550, I just did. Not that it's bad, anything. I mean, just be competent with it, but
it destroys frames. We had a job where we had to do it monthly, and they wanted CC 550, and they had black aluminum frames. They were like, it was gone. Like it wasn't gone, but it was just, there was no way, but they just wanted the clear glass. It was a dentist's office right near a lake, and they got hit hard all the time. So I would put on my mask, my gloves and everything and do it all the time. But yeah, then from there, if you ever need to go to like a variable speed polisher, there's Glass Renew, there's the Mr. Hard Water kit. There's a bunch of stuff with that.
I didn't do a video like Steve, a nonchalant sealing video, but I just did Glass Renew my shower and then sealed it with Mr. Hard Water.
Oh, how that Mr. Hard Water stuff is impressive.
It's good. It's really good. The only thing I didn't like about it was like how hard the film was to kind of get off afterwards. But like,
what did you do?
Use like a wet rag after I read that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch my video?
I did. Yeah. No, I got, like we really should be getting our hands on everything, that we sell. So I always have stuff coming in. So I had the glass renew thing that I've done on my shower before, which I really like because that's one of my favorite actual systems. By the way, the glass renew hard water remover one comes with pads you use on a DA sander instead of a polisher. So it's like super portable, But anyway, did that in the shower real quick, sealed it. I cleaned and sealed my shower with it was my own shower, so like 95% results, and I did it within like 30 minutes. So like if you ever want to get into like shower cleaning and sealing, man, that's where there's some pretty good money in that.
I went to a what was it, the PWMCA or something like that, like back in February with Mark Tanner. That was the most I've learned ever about hard water in 2 days, was just being with Mark Tanner, and I learned about a whole new world of hard water with that guy. So like, I never known so much about hard water until I was with him. And we were also talking to another company the whole time there, and they were asking him like tons of questions. Like, that guy is like tons of knowledge as far as that goes, like a lot.
Yeah. I really like Mark Tanner too. Those guys, like, awesome. Like Mark and TJ, I really enjoy those guys. Like, anytime I see them, I just like, they're just people who I could just literally hang out with. I never get to hang out with them because they're too busy hanging out with the people they actually like instead of hanging out with me, but I still like those guys.
It's good. We should probably get back to questions. Somehow we're getting totally sidetracked here. Well, no, we were talking about, removal as far as that goes.
Oh, they're doing amazing with questions. Look at this. You ask for questions, you get tons of questions.
This is a question you're going to know better than I am. Okay. So Katie Window Cleaning asks, any idea, Jersey, when WCR...
Evo the window cleaner first, then Jersey.
Any idea when WCR will be carrying the Viper hose that CWC Supplies used to carry?
Talking about the 1/4-inch hose. Some of the CWC stuff is in the works of being retooled, like their brushes and a few things. So it will be back in, but it's not as easy as like, hey, guess what? We sell now. Let's flip a switch. Like, yeah, we kind of wanted to change some things. So maybe with the 1/4-inch stuff, maybe we've actually tried some new hose. I know you tried some of that new hose that we're kind of beta testing on the back end right now.
Yeah. We're always testing. Like that is always going on. But like, I think the thing is that WCR is so big about it has to be right before it can just, it has to be tested. It has to be right.
I think people would be kind of surprised too, at like how much stuff we get that we have, like that we put through tests, and just like, it's literally probably once or twice a week that something kind of comes up. They're like, hey, you guys want this? Let's send them out. Like, I mean, from pumps, I probably spend a good, I would say probably $1,000 a month on average, maybe not that much, on just stuff. Like you get something, we're like, hey, these new pumps come in, let's do that. Boom, that's $300 pump or whatever. So we're always trying to kind of get that tested before it even goes out. And I know now we're gonna get a bunch of comments where people go, I'll test stuff, send stuff my way. We get that all the time, but yeah.
We get it. Okay, so next question. From Carlos, or did we already talk about this? No, we didn't talk about this, but do you pay your guys if you get reschedules and days become empty? Okay, we did talk a little bit about that, but what would you have done when you were with your business up in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I didn't. So we had a commercial property, so there was always stuff to do, but I would always offer them shop hours. You want shop hours? If somebody was like, yeah, it's whatever. Or people would be like, nah, I'm just going to chill. Cool, go play ping pong, go have a soda and sit. Like, people would just hang out while other people were, it was a chill environment. But no, I would never force myself to find hours for somebody, because at that point, it's not your job to find that. I know that they work for you, but like, they also have to understand it's a seasonal business, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. So one unfortunate part about this business, but yeah, it is. It's like, I think we talked about this last episode, and even I think times in our own lives that you think like, oh, I wish like the company I was working for was doing more, but then you have to have that realistic look at it. Like, that's not their responsibility. Like,
right.
It's just not, but that's a very, very hard thing to sometimes acknowledge. I guess
you know how hard that is though, too, when you start having staff where you're like, it's all on my shoulders. If I don't provide hours, like they don't feed their kids, like, you know, so then you're like, oh, there's this whole other pressure. I got 10 families to feed now instead of just one. And yeah, I get it. But
yeah. Totally. Let's see here. Vanderhoff. Do you guys get tired from working? I'm 54 years old, been in business 32 years, and by the end of the day, my back is killing me. I think that a lot of the people in the industry, especially how long you've been in the industry, would have a similar feel about it, just from how many people I've talked around that are around that age or around that time. My old partner, Jim, is very, very close to that age, and I would have to say that, you know, there's definitely those expressions of being tired, being exhausted, and, you know, that's what comes along with the territory, and having a blue collar job where you're always working physically. I would definitely understand it. And I think everyone goes through it, and you're not alone in that at all. And I think the best thing you can do sometimes is you got to plan your winters to take some time off, and you got to have some time for yourself. And I'm one of the worst people about doing that, but it's very important to do that to make sure that, you know, quality of life is there, I guess, not to get like weird and deep about it.
No, there's too many people that talk only about the highlights, and they don't talk about the crap show that is owning your own business. And I'll tell you, this is not, by the way, thank you to whoever shared the show. There's a big spike happening right now. So somebody somewhere shared it. Thank you to whoever shared it, and you guys that are commenting. But yeah, there's a really big difference working for yourself, like, you know, as a job, or working as a business. Like, this is not on you, Vanderhoff 66. It's not. But one thing that you have to understand when you get into business is that a lot of us have just a really good paying job right now. You guys are working one-man show, right? One-man show, I make more money. That's cool. But you just have a job. You don't own a company. Like, if you're a one-man show, you do not own a company. You have a job, because guess what? As soon as you don't do that, you have to find somebody to do that job. So the problem ends up coming in is as you get older, like Vanderhoff's talking now. And I think Nick, by the way, RoboCop Nick, he's got like, you know, a bunch of like titanium plates, and he's even older. But when you get to be that age where you're like, I'm starting to wear myself out, but I'm the only way I'm making money right now, you end up kind of painting yourself into a corner by having just a job. So that's where you start to look at like, okay, well, if I have this as a company, then I get other people to do the work. And now all of a sudden, you know, I have this thing that I can take easy and do as long. John Lee, by the way, who works with us, still owns a company. He just subs everything out legally in the way his company is structured up. And he just doesn't clean windows anymore. And he's like 65 now or something.
Yeah. Yeah. He has it very well organized for that. And I remember a day where he talked to me about it in the way that I do things. And, you know, it's interesting that you said the thing about, you know, making sure that even though, you know, you're not responsible for employees' hours, there is a responsibility there as far as feeling like, okay, you put food on their tables, you know, all that stuff. And where I'm at right now, there's just, I don't feel that I have that ability, but John always tells me, oh, like, you can do it. Like, you can do it. You just got to do it. And I'm always like, I don't know, man. I got to get a little older to like really, you know, understand it and want to do it. But I'm at a point where it's like, I just don't want to take on anymore, you know? But yeah, you make a very good point though.
But you could do what you do every day, right? Go out and make $1,000 a day cleaning windows by yourself and bank that. There's your retirement plan, right? Yeah. But if you have something like, there will be eventually a point where Steve just says, yep, I'm done, game over, right? That then the doors close and you're done. You either go from actually cleaning and making the money to doing nothing. You know, if you have that where all of a sudden, like John doesn't have to go clean to make money. So pros and cons to everything, but there's that long-term kind of versus short-term. So
definitely. Real quickly, Levi asked, want to know what brand pressure washer it was that broke on you so badly.
Oh, that was it was a Kohler motor on an EnviroSpec, which that guy is, I won't say anything bad about him because that would be my own personal opinion and not shared amongst the views of SteveO, the window cleaners YouTube channel. But I personally would, I did not buy another system from him after that. Actually, that motor still sits on Paul Cassander's shelf in his like warehouse in Milwaukee because he took it off and swapped with another brand new system. And I was just like, I don't even want that motor. Do something with it. He's like, I can't do it. I said, so he threw it up on one of his shelves and I just never got it. So, hey.
Dang. luckily for me, I don't have how to deal with any of that stuff with pressure washing, and I'm happy after hearing about how many things can break, how many things can go wrong. Window cleaning, I'm good.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Carlos, Roman, by the way, run off that one if you didn't see it, but is it better than Visitor's Shield? We were talking about the sealer in Mr. Hard Water Shield. I want to say it's on par. I want to say it's like all of those ones seem to kind of be the same. The longevity thing, I don't really know, but the same process seems to be the same.
So here's what I did. I showed that video, right? And I've actually been watching the area. It is cool how we've had rain like every day since I've done it. And I even cleaned my windows again after it, and it stayed after I went through and cleaned the windows. I didn't use like any abrasive, but just mopped them, squeegeed them, and it's still there. The water just runs right off. It doesn't grab as much in the area. It's so amazing.
I have to say that the best thing about this new batch of videos you put out, you're like, hey, yeah, it's Steve. We're like doing some like windows. So yeah. So see, that does pretty cool. And then like, and they squirt the water and you're like, yeah, so there it is, Mr. Hard Water. So I was like, that's a video now? Yeah. Got more views than all of them now because people are like, you know.
I'm totally over, I guess, like, you know, Luke and Rihanna and them did like the intros so well. Well, as you've seen on this thing, I've never been great at the intros, but I'm literally too like, I hate the channels that when you go on, it takes so long to get to the point. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, some people really enjoy it, so don't worry about
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
But it's different in the way you're doing. No, it's not that. It's just I am strictly about, and it's probably due to the way the culture has gone on social media. I like things just to be quick, and I was making for a while they're like hour-long videos, and they do really well with monetization. They do really well on YouTube. But I just got to the point where I was like, dude, I just want to make quick, informal videos because of how many questions we get. I just want to be able to send that and have someone in the field be able to watch it for 2 minutes and understand, like, okay, that's the basics. Now let me try to go do it.
I like that. I think the first words out of your mouth in that video were Mr. Hard Water is, and that's like how you started. It was great. I like them almost as much as I like the ones where like the tarp was behind that one window, but like you could see around the tarp, and you're like, all right, we're like
I just don't care.
It's a real feel. I like it.
There's more to come. Let me tell you, there's a lot more to come. It's just this month is a little bit busy for me. Nice. Let's see here. Oh,
Crazy Larry soap. Have you tried it yet?
Freaking love Crazy Larry's. Actually, I want to talk about that because I tried purple soap today, but I only got to try it a little bit. So I'm not even going to say how I feel about it. I did not get it good. I'm going to try it more tomorrow. Crazy Larry's I have been using since October, and I have not used anything else since it. And it's been one of those things that I've switched to. I've talked about it. Admittedly, it's an expensive soap. I mean, you're paying $24.99 for 16 ounces. All we can do is keep buying it more and more and hope that Crazy Larry's can make it less. But I'm telling you, man, that stuff has crazy good glide. I also mixed it with EBC glide, and oh my. To me, it would seem like very similar to what like ammonia and Dawn would be like from what TJ and Mark always explain. Yeah. I would just sleeve a door, no abrasive or anything, every fingerprint freaking gone. Now I probably put way too much EBC glide and way too much Crazy Larry's, but I did not care. And I've cleaned a few houses with that, and it was amazing. Nice. I'm not going to put out a video about it because everyone's going to switch to like EBC glide and asking me what ratio. It's expensive. Like you don't have to do it. But I really, really like Crazy Larry's on its own. I have been really impressed with it, and I've been using it ever since. Immediately, they sent me some, and then once I got it, I've been buying bottles ever since. And I buy those bottles. I do. So, yeah, I really like it. Have you used it?
I have, but like on 2 windows because I was like, I kind of like. I mean, it was good, but like I didn't. It was the same with the purple soap. Like the purple soap's good, but like I'm the guy that I never got into soap. Like I've used everything that's ever been on the market pretty much ever. And I keep just going back to Dawn because I can get it at the grocery store when somebody, falls off the truck and it breaks or something, like.
Right. Hey, real quickly, I just want to say something real quickly. How cool is it? Grayson is here. I forget Grayson if you're always 13 or 14, but he's got 50 residential clients and now has 3 employees.
Nice.
Pretty freaking impressive. Good job. Very good job. I have to say that. My dad's name is Larry. He's not really crazy though. That's good. Let's see here.
Hey, comments are comments, man. Keep them coming. Yes. Who else knows the Larry in real life? Tell us about it.
Let's see here. I did want to get to one more question that Vanderhoff had about, does anyone work alone here and find it quite hard to complete huge houses all by yourself every day? Yeah. Yes. Every day is quite taxing as far as doing that all the time. And yeah, it's a struggle and it's not easy. And
you know what it is? Yeah. It's not the physical, because you clean windows 8 hours a day, no matter if you have one job that takes you a week or one job that takes you 1 hour. You're still cleaning for 8 hours. It's the mental side where you're like work it, and you turn around a corner and you're like, ah, crap, man. Like, dude, I'm like a third of the way. That is the mental part. That's why big jobs suck. It's not that you can't do it, because cleaning is, you're going to do that anyway. It's just that your mental side of it just destroys you.
Here's what will make it a lot easier for you. Not a monster drink, not anything of those. 3 shots of espresso right before you get going. And I swear, all of a sudden, it's 3:30 and you've done 5 houses. I may not run 5 houses. Right. You have gone through a lot of work super fast.
And you're like, whoa, all right. The day's done. That's great.
Customers always ask me to get in a house. Hey, do you want some coffee? I'm like, no, man. If I had some more coffee right now, I may pass out because I am ready to
taste colors right now. I don't want any more.
But now, man, I think anyone that does homes alone, I know a lot of guys that work alone, and there are guys that are out sometimes until 11 o'clock or midnight during this time of year. I've personally never been a type that would ever do that. But I mean, I feel you. And I think there's a lot of people there with you once again with that. And it's that time of year. And it is hard. No matter how fast you are, there's that. It's completely mental of what you said.
I did plowing in Wisconsin. We did that. Obviously winter, is different. And there was times where you sit in a truck. We call it a dark run, which is, you sit in the truck when it's dark, the sun comes up, you've been working still, and then it's dark. And then and the longest I sat in a truck was 66 hours for one of our snowstorms. And that is so mentally exhausting that nothing else compares to those like long runs like that. It's because it's just never ending. All you want to do is just like give up and lay down and relax and just be like, and then there's more windows, or in my case, there's more snow, or there's more whatever. And it's the timing, it's the mental side. It's like the David Goggins thing. If you can get your brain on board, you can do anything, because your brain is the only thing that holds you back.
Yeah, I've been helping a guy who's been cleaning a university windows, and this is his first window job ever, a pressure washer, and man, signed on for like 20,000 window panes to get done, I think, by the end of the month. And the guy, dude just has crazy work ethic though. And he'll like call me every couple of days just to chat. Like, he just wants someone just to like talk about like, gosh, I had such a hard day. Like, this sucks, Yeah. But he's like always thankful that he has that amount of work. But I'm like, when I always hear stories like that, I'm like, man, like that, to get to that point where you're okay with doing that it's a mental feat for sure.
Yep.
So we're there with you guys. We know it can be hard this time of year.
That's why with a lot of these single guys, they're the ones that are on Facebook and everything else, because they just need somebody to like, dude, I've been staring at my own reflection for 8 hours, like not saying anything. I need to just say something to somebody,
And sometimes too, what I would do when I felt like I was getting bored too, was like change up the type of music, change up podcasts, change up just something to get me excited to listen to that kind of distracted me from the job, depending on what that is for you. I mean, that's something that always kind of got me through it too, or, yeah.
By the way, if anybody is, we've talked music tastes in here before, but you're the most shocking music taste person that I've just still like ever. I could imagine you just cleaning windows to like Tiny Tim, or like, like some of those like old, like, 50s ballads,
Oh yeah. I could listen to anything, but recently I got really back into this guy that's on YouTube, and the YouTube channel is named Sick Kick. You ever heard of Sick Kick?
No.
Sick Kick. Dude, this dude makes remixes of like all the songs from freaking 1990 until now, and remixes them, and it is
into like what? It's like electronic,
so much energy that you're just like in a home, just like
Is he electronic, or what is he? How does he remake them?
It's electronic, it's rap, it's everything you could possibly imagine. And I love stuff like that, where you just don't know like what's coming next in the next like 30 seconds of a song. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about though, is like something like that. These today and tomorrow, like I was super excited just to go clean windows and listen to that music, which is weird, but it changes it up and gets you like re-excited. That's why I also was a window cleaning tool slut, and that I bought a lot of tools because I got bored. So it was like, all right, I want to try something. And so that would make me more excited for that next week of work. And that's just how I am.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, it's moving. You guys are actually commenting. It's just amazing, but no, Quasisum.
Oh man,
a guy that starts with a Q. No, the convention did not start. It's not over already. The convention that we were talking about is a huge convention. It's coming up in August, and it's in Nashville. The IWC convention that was earlier this year, that is done. But the huge convention is coming up, and we will both be there if you want to come. Damien also said 80s music. He's an 80s music guy.
So good.
Johnny Cash, Slayer.
So good. Oh, man. All that stuff. It's just great. It's the best.
Someone. Yeah.
That's always the nice thing about like iTunes is you can like download all of, the Johnny Cash favorites throughout the years. You can do a Tupac favorites throughout the year. You can do Dre, Snoop Dogg. It's like all of them. You just get excited for your day. I mean, literally.
I'm going to, because my music, when people are like, I like whatever. I'm going to literally show you all the downloaded songs. I have on mine, I have highly suspect. Yeah, I have Highly Suspect. Look at that. Weezer's Blue Album. Oops.
What was that church one with the cross on it? That is
that's Genesis or Justice.
Justice. It's good.
I got This Is Loveless. This is like new core basically. I have some Marshmallow on there. This dude is phenomenal. This is rap. There's some more Loveless, Rage Against the Machine, Sublime. I have a lot of Chevelle and a lot of Five Finger Death Punch, which people make fun of me all the time for.
I got a kicker for you.
Look at just this. This is just Beartooth and Beastie Boys.
What I've downloaded lately. Miley Cyrus.
There you go. All right. See,
some of her like remixes with Tiesto and stuff. Man, yeah. Great.
Do you remember like Crystal Method? Were you into like electronic even back then?
No, I don't remember that. Oh, Crystal Method. Yes, I remember Crystal
Method. I got Crystal Method. I got Issues. If you don't know what Issues is, man, it's all depends on what your mode or your mood is for that time,
Yes. Real quickly, Alex, I don't remember mispronounce your last name. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Trochet.
SteveO, you were able to work this past week. Let's see. I worked last Monday and Tuesday before the rain, and I felt really bad because my customer on Monday, it was her brand new home, and she was so excited to get her windows clean, and we had to reschedule a bunch of times from like March, got them cleaned, and literally 3 hours later, like one of those side rainstorms came in. She lives like right across the road from me, and I know her windows just got blasted, and it was the dirty rain. There was no way this stuff was staying clean. Yeah. And she was so happy when I got done, and I know that she's probably never going to call again. She feels like it's a waste of money.
By the way, Chris just said Slightly Stupid. Yes, man. Talking about some classics right there. I love Slightly Stupid.
All good music. Oh, man, we got totally off course here. Corn's awesome.
I was going to say, you could get into Corn with your lifting days, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Corn.
Dirty Heads.
Limp Bizkit. Amazing.
311, Katie just brought up.
Yes.
All right, so you guys got good music taste. Slayer, I've never been into Slayer, even though I listen to really heavy stuff. Sometimes I just cannot get into Slayer for some reason.
Yeah, I haven't listened to much Slayer, I'll be quite honest. Hey, real quickly, Chris Thomas asked, Black Diamond Platinum? We have it. It is in stock. So if you want some Black Diamond Platinum, it is there. I was using some today. It was pretty nice.
Do you like it?
So I just really love my brass channels. I use Sorbo for many, many years. And I don't go back to it very often. Like I just love Mormon 2.0 handle with either brass or Unger S channel. And that is it's very hard for me now to like move away from it. I've been using that for like so many years, but I enjoy a Sorbo channel. Like the detailing's like hardly anything. But the only thing is, if I could put that into a really nice swivel handle that had the adjustments like a Mormon 2.0, I totally do it all the time, but I just can't. It's just not possible. So,
by the way, I forget that Damien is like an OG, and he said about the Slayer channel that WCR had like way back in the day. Like original WCR, most people don't know because you know, the original WCR is try to hide some of the original stuff, but that was one of them, was the old Slayer channel. So
the pickle,
that was one. Yeah, the Vader, which was the black version, which I think the Vader actually then became the Luke the Window Cleaner channel. Yeah, there's like so many variables, and people would love one or the other, and they would be the exact same thing in a different color. Be like, I don't like the pickle, I like the Vader, and it's like,
I remember so many times getting online and looking at the pickle, and I was like, I need to buy one, I need to buy it. And then all of a sudden they were gone. I was like, wait, what? Like they never came back, and this time I didn't have much money to spare, so I was like, oh man, this sucks.
I got to give a little bit of cred where cred's due. Do you remember the Legend channel?
Oh yeah, I
you know how like that whole thing went. Like Sorbo talked to him, was like, "Hey man, like, kind of like, it's like a literal blatant, you know, copy kind of a mine. Like, you know, is there anything you can do?" He's like, "Oh, stop selling it, done." So like, kudos on that dude to just stop like for that whole thing. Yeah. I don't know if that's really how it went, but that's how I heard that it went. Like, that's pretty good.
Maybe
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I wanted to get to Victor Gruel's question real quickly about hard water, or how would you price them nasty hard water stain jobs? I royally screwed myself this weekend on the small job and underbid them. And so I guess he was saying there was about 7 super hard calcium deposited windows. It took me 6 hours. So here's my thought on stuff like that. You're in restoration once you're removing hard water stains like that, and you need to charge like restoration. And restoration, there's not really like, oh, this window is going to take X amount of time, because partially it's all due to experience. Like a guy like Mark Tanner could probably come in there and maybe do that job and, you know, 4 times faster than you, but that's not to say anything. So I think a charge that I'd be happy with restoration is somewhere in the range of about 200 to 250 an hour. I mean, just honestly. And that's what I would do, because you have to have,
this knowledge. Like you get paid for the knowledge. There's nothing else they can do.
Yeah. Because if you can't do that, then they're looking at buying a new window, right? To like actually remove that. So that's what I would suggest to you to charge, is do an hourly rate. If they don't sign on for it, then boom, they just don't get it. And if they want to go with someone cheaper, they go with someone cheaper. But I would really just start charging at least $200 an hour to make you feel like, okay, I have all the time in the world to make sure I get this done right, and I don't feel like I'm having to, you know, go really, really quick because I'm losing money.
Yeah, exactly. That certain things, it's like roof cleaning. Like you will make $250 an hour every hour for roof cleaning, and people don't feel bad once they do roof cleaning. But then when some of the stuff is like, well, I just usually take hard water off on every window, just part of my plan. It's like, you could totally do that, but you don't have to. Like, again, we're a luxury business, you know. It's like, oh yeah, I wash cars for a living and I wax every one of them. I'd hate to charge somebody extra to wax them. It's like, that's kind of what they do though.
Yeah.
Money's hard. Money's hard, by the way, to talk about, because people get like weird about. Have you ever noticed that, where you're like, dude, you could charge more? They're like, no, I can't. Yeah. It's like, money's a really weird one, because everybody thinks they're charging already too much, but so many people are scared to charge more. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Like what we used to say, like when you're at Fish, you know, like don't ever, people used to, you know, because they would see a new person come around, they would think, oh, we can just like tell this person like to do something that the other person wouldn't do. And we would just always say to them, like, or it was, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And then later on, they were just billed for it, like as an extra charge. Like, don't expect it not to be billed. And you come back the next time, like, oh, you billed me for that? Yeah, it's extra service.
You don't go to a restaurant and be like, oh, yeah, I'll take a burger, fries, a milkshake. We'll take some onion rings and then do some cheese sticks as an appetizer. People aren't like, well, what should I charge them for? They ordered it. You charge them for everything they just ordered. You don't go to a grocery store, put a bunch of stuff down and go, yeah, I know my total is $230, but I'll give you $150 cash.
And you go to restaurants, what do you want to put back? It's super expensive. It's like insane as far as the prices. Just going out and eating now.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, in the last like couple of years, it's picked up so much where we really try to limit it, because it's just stupid expensive.
Yeah.
You know, so don't be scared. Charge a lot. This is a good question. It comes up every once in a while, but Andy asks, besides a work van or truck, would a SUV be a good car for solo 2-man crew? Yeah. I mean, why not? There's 2 seats in there and you can fit everything and fold down some seats in the back. I don't see any reason why not to. People have done a 2-man crew and a lot less.
I love the whole image side of things. So for me, SUV is usually not a thing because I would rather have to show up to a job with an empty, you know, transit or something, but look like this is my job. So sometimes in the SUV, I feel like, you know, people that run out of their car, I get that starting off, but I would never choose that because I want to have that convey. It's the same reason I don't like magnets, where a lot of guys run magnet signs on their vehicles, but that just to me looks like you're doing this part time. You need to be able to take your logo off your truck. Wrap it. If it's wrapped, then you know you're going serious, you know?
It's so funny you mentioned. I was just having this conversation before I got on here with somebody, but like one of the best things that I've done and that Jim and I did that he had with his business was putting the lettering on the trucks and making it big and making it known. And we got the most leads from there. We'd be driving down the road. There'd be someone behind us. Hey, I'm just driving behind you and I'd love to have a bid. And it was like one of the best forms of advertising that we had. We didn't do much, but man. And then like when I had my van and I had nice lettering on that, I used to get calls all the time. They just say, hey, you keep good care of your van. I see your logo. Give me a bid. And it would get you a lot of work. So I think it's more like the notion of if you're going to do it, just go all in, like go all in, really do it. Like big thing I always say is like get a website. I really think that's a huge thing that a lot of people miss out on, but I know that's an expense for some that may not be able to afford it at the beginning.
I'm telling you, I don't think that anybody's ever called a number on a magnet ever. Like I would almost like die on that hill because like no one's gonna look at him and go, hey, this guy looks like he doesn't do this very often. I'm gonna call him. Like we're a luxury business. So like why even have anything on there if you're not gonna go, go if you're gonna go for it. And like you said, how long you keep a wrap on? 3 to 5 years, as long as you keep it nice, man. Dude, you're driving a website at that point, people are calling you.
Well, and too, it's like people always ask about oh gosh, what is it called? Stuff you put into the grass at a job, yard signs.
Yeah.
To me, I'm not the biggest fan of yard signs because I feel like if you have your car wrapped or decaled, it kind of takes care of it, right? Like I was always one, I didn't really park in the driveway because I wanted to have everything out. Like I wanted to have, if a car was driving up from the back, they could see the back. If they're driving from the front, they could look at the side or like whatever. But I just always felt like it's not that it's ever going to be bad, right? To put that out, more branding is good. But I always felt like, man, once you wrap the vehicle and make that so known, like there's a couple businesses here in town, I can always know, like even when they're coming up, like, oh, that's that business because of how much they just pop out with their decals or wrap.
Yeah. And you can't, if you do it right, sometimes people put too much stuff on the wraps, but if you do it right, it just draws people in, it's just, you're driving a billboard. It makes tons of sense. And Kyle already called me. He kicked me off my hill and said he got a call from a magnet. I would love to know specifically that they said, hey, the only place I've seen you was the magnet on your car. I would love to know that. But yeah, I mean, people still can call. I guarantee if you had like a full wrap, you'd have a little bit more, but anything's better than nothing. It's just where that ROI and that big buck. Everybody's worried about pricing when, maybe you don't have $3,000 right now to do a full wrap, but do the $3,000 you make back in 2 jobs or in 2 months worth of jobs, like just from
my logo. It didn't cost too much. I think it cost $250. I didn't go crazy with it. And then to get everything lettered on my vehicle was $500. It was $750. So I make that back in 1 job. And the amount of phone calls that I got just from having that was crazy. But like Victor Guerrero made a good point. He's a weekend warrior. He's thought about going all in, but hasn't done it. And that's the amazing thing about window cleaning. We have low overhead. You can make it what you want it. If you just want it to be referral based and have the people that, refer you to other people, be the customers that you have, it's totally fine. And that's the great thing about window cleaning.
Yep. And that's literally what a magnet is. Like if you're a weekend warrior, it's rad, dude. Make your cheddar on the weekends, do what you're doing. Like, I mean, you're making more than anybody else at any other job sitting doing nothing. You're working, right? That's what a magnet is because on the rest of the week, you don't want to have it on there. That's my mindset when I see a vehicle with a magnet, is that they're a weekend warrior. They're that kind of thing. So it works perfectly for that, I think.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think we've missed a lot of questions here as we kind of talked about everything. But I heard some people, or not heard, but saw some comments about some people talking about.
I've been hearing people, I don't know, man. They're
just rotator cuff issues, shoulder issues, stuff like that. It's definitely something that comes about. I found that something that really helped my shoulders out, and I have a really bad right shoulder, was stopping the straight pull action on storefronts and that lifting up motion of lifting the pole and working with swivel tools. That's literally why I switched to swivel tools, because I couldn't do the lift anymore. Like, it was my shoulder was going out. So those are some of the things too. Like with swivel tools, sometimes people are like, oh, like you're just trying to be fancy with it. There are things like using a pole to like scrub a whole window instead of like doing the whole thing with your arm can be really good, and just bringing the tension off all of your joints. Like now I bring a pole all the time in houses, and sometimes it's just to mop like a whole door just up and down, so I don't have to be sitting there doing this the whole time.
Well, that's what fanning really is too. I mean, fanning cuts down. The key of fanning is that you don't have to detail as much, but you can fan faster than you can do straight pulls. It's not that it looks great. It's that it's a fluid motion. That's that ergonomic. That's, that works better than uncomfortable things. It's, it's in every type of repetitive motion thing. And that's literally what we do for a living, is repetitive motion stuff. So you find that out when you get old, though. The older you get, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, now my shoulder, I wake up and my shoulder hurts because I, slept like this or whatever. And it's like, oh, why would my right shoulder? Oh, that's why. Right. All these years doing that.
Exactly. KD was talking about Nextdoor and how good Nextdoor is for his area. And I always hear customers talking, window cleaners talking about this. And if you are not somehow using Nextdoor or have people like referring you, you're doing a lot of residential, Nextdoor can be an amazing app to really get known in a community, because it's usually referrals inside the community of what they're doing. So you should definitely get on there.
Yeah. It's like Facebook, but Facebook, there's like people all you probably got friends. Well, I know you got friends in North Carolina and you got friends here, and Facebook's too far. When all of a sudden you get into listserv, which is what they were called before it was Nextdoor. But in Nextdoor, that's like a neighborhood. You always wanted to be in that one neighborhood. Now all of a sudden everybody in the neighborhood's talking about you. And it's good.
Yep. And once you get going on there, it just keeps rolling. And customers really like that stuff. Or even I always forget about this, but I used to get a part of a lot of the Facebook groups, like locally people would all of a sudden be like, hey, I need a window cleaner. And I used to get a lot of jobs from there, and it was all free. It was always free. And I probably missed something here and there, but something like that too, like always brought in more work if you're looking for it,
Just find whatever your town name is and then write moms of.
Yeah.
Moms of Mooresville, where I live, there's 20 groups, and there are like 30,000 people in each one. Yeah, they complain about people driving too fast and traffic or whatever, but they're good. Once your name gets brought up one time, like you said, you could always tell you get 3 people like, I saw your name on Facebook. 3 people will call within like 30 minutes. And you're like, somebody somewhere in one of these groups posted about me.
Yep. And KD made a good point. You don't even need to pay Nextdoor. Like once you have 40 to 50 recommendations, everybody refers you to anybody asking. And it's really true. We never paid for Nextdoor. We never put ads, but we had around that amount of people, and then we always got referrals from there all the time.
It's so much better though when somebody refers you than when you do an ad. I mean, you can pay for it, but if Little Miss Jones, it's so great. Oh man, I can't believe it's so great. I just love you guys. So, hey, definitely, if you like us, tell your friends. If you are in the Nextdoor, just go ahead and let your neighbors know about us. It would do us the biggest favor, just let somebody know like that. And I kid you not, they will go out on a limb for you.
Yeah. Trying to scroll back through here and see if I missed anything.
You did.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I missed quite a bit. Victor Gruel was talking about how he had a $22 burger. I don't know where you're shopping at. That's a lot.
You don't go out anymore, right, Steve?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Vanderhoff is talking about how he told his clients that he was upping prices by $1 per window, $1 per screen. Customers complaining. Meanwhile, they have homes all over the world. And yes, what I have found is that the richest customers are always the one to complain about the cost. They're always the penny pinchers for some reason. You have your people that will like tip you $100, but it's like always the cookie cutter homes where they're just like, yeah, it's great. It's $100 for $1 job. Yeah, thanks so much.
Because they're treating themselves. As soon as you work for one of these rich people, you're just one of many of the help. They don't care.
Yeah, exactly. One other question I know that came up earlier from Ace Window Cleaning. What is your water fed pull system and what's a beginner setup? If you want more information on that, you can contact either one of us because we're reps from Window Cleaning Resource. So hit us up and we can go over that. It's just more based on kind of what's your area and all that stuff. So, you can go DI, RODI, but contact one of us and we can help you out with that for sure.
Yeah. KT's talking about Karen's complaining about pure water getting their sidewalk wet. And I've just decided that in everything you could possibly ever do, there are just going to be terrible people. Because even in what we do, like we get yelled at weekly for the stupidest. This guy, this big chat, he tells me the entire poll he has completely wrong. I sent him the stuff and he goes, I don't know how you got it wrong. I didn't get it wrong. I sent you what you said. That you said that poll is not what it was. He's like, well, I just don't get it. I'm done with this conversation. I'm like, okay. Hey, I need a new muffler for my BMW, and it ends up being a Ford pickup truck. Well, guess what? It's not me giving you the wrong muffler. Anyway, sorry.
That's okay. Let's see here. What was else was going on? I actually had a Karen talk about, she sent an email when I was at gym and called him. And it was so funny because after she did this, she didn't even realize she was one of our customers. And we cleaned her house. And she was complaining about my water fed pole use, on how the water was trickling off the building and going into the drain. So down in Boulder, Colorado, they have a rule. You have to reclaim any water, but not water fed pole. I mean, that's, it's what you're using, a half a gallon per minute max. The amount that's trickling through maybe off the building is 0.0001 to whatever. Yeah. And she wrote a long email complaining about all the rules that we are breaking. And it was just like why? Like, what? I don't know. It's just, there's some battles that I don't understand why these Karens pick,
though, having so much free time that you're going to like complain about the stuff that people complain about. I don't get it. Like it's absolutely $0 for you to be a nice person.
Yeah.
That's exactly
it. Real quickly, I want to say, Chris Thomas asked, if I use TJ's WCR affiliate link, can I still put my order in with you guys and everybody wins? No, just put it through that link and give TJ the credit. And he'll very much appreciate that. So just, if one of us are involved, just get sucked right up. No, I'm joking. But yeah, that's totally fine just to put it straight through his. He will very much appreciate it. So Damien, talking about my TDS here in Colorado is pretty high. I got away with DI for a long time. I know down in Denver it can be a little bit higher than up here. And I'm always at like 50s, 40s. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. Run DI all the time if I can. It's nice.
You like hold it up to the sunlight and you have 0 TDS again. It's like magic.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Well, anyways, we're almost here at the end, and we're about to have the greatest outro you've ever seen. But I'm not sure what that is. So anyways, do you have anything to share?
No, but I'm ready for this outro. Let's hear this outro.
It's nothing. I was just trying to get people excited, and there's nothing crazy about it.
Be music and.
But guys, thank you for coming on. And I know this is one of the craziest times of the year for like everybody. So I know everyone's tired. So I appreciate you. I'm sure there's even some people that may listen to this tomorrow that are on the glass right now. But we appreciate you coming, and we'll keep this going. And but do you have anything to share?
Yes. Thanks to everybody who's watching the proper outro. But if you guys haven't yet, if anybody's here and you have not subscribed to SteveO, the Window Cleaner's YouTube channel, look at that. Please do that. He is looking at 31,800 subscribers right now. So he's going to be at 32,000 subscribers.
Pay for all of them.
The next Mr. Beast. For sure. And like SteveO said, SteveO's right, but if you haven't gotten a subscription yet, go and get your subscription and get some stickers. And Steve has them because he's in pretty much every issue because his pictures are so dope. So he probably just has it so that he can look at himself.
But why not?
You want to SteveO the window cleaner poster? They're usually in there, so definitely go take a look at that.
You put it above your bed.
Yeah, and as you know, if you do have an affiliate link through TJ, please do that. But Steve and myself, we're both reps for windowcleaner.com. And it costs you nothing extra to put orders in through us. So if you have a guy, keep a guy, call your guy, and let them put your order in.
Yes, very much so. All righty, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Peace.